So for our final question on this quiz here, we're going to be asked to find the equation of the line passing through these points, -2, (7) and 4, (-5). So I would say this is basically the hardest kind of question you could see at coordinate geometry level, or coordinate geometry at junior cert level, because there's going to be quite a bit involved here, but we're going to take it step by step. And so the first step is going to be to find our formula for the equation of a line, which is going to be the formula y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. And this is a formula that is going to be in your log tables, so you don't need to memorize that. I believe it's on page 18, so you can just basically double check that every time you use it. So based on this formula, you can see here that we need the slope m, so m is just a letter that means slope. And then secondly, we need a point x1, y1. So our point x1, y1 is actually very straightforward because we can just read it from the question, and you can choose either one, but I would always choose the first one that's in the question. So that's going to be the point -2, (7). So that's going to be fine. And so you can see now we need our slope, and our slope is not actually given in the question, so we need to find it. And so now we need our formula for finding the slope, and we call the slope m. And so our slope m is going to be equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And just a note, I always like to think about this as the rise over the run, so the change in y values over the change in x values. And so that's going to be our slope, and we can just start to find that now. We've already labelled x1, y1, and so now we can just label x2, y2, which is our second point in the question, and that's going to be the points 4, (-5). So that's x2, y2. And so now we can basically plug that into our slope formulas to find m. So m is going to be equal to -5, (-7). So that's y2 minus y1, and then x2 is going to be 4, and that's going to be -2, so 4 plus 2 on the bottom, because our x1 is going to be the point, or the coordinate, -2. And so it's going to be easy to simplify now for us, because we have -12 on the top, and then we've got a 6 on the bottom, so it's going to be -12 over 6, which is going to be equal to -2. So this is our slope here. This is going to be, the slope is going to be equal to -2. And then our very last step here is going to be to go back to use our equation of a line formula that we're given just in the beginning from our log tables. And we can basically plug in out our values now that we need. So y1, we said in the first place, was always going to be 7. So y1 is going to be 7. And that's going to be equal to m, which we now know is -2, times x minus x1, and x1 is going to be -2, so we can actually have x plus 2 here, and so that's going to be what we have on the right hand side. So now we're just going to start tidying this up, and we get on the left hand side, we're just going to leave it as y minus 7, then we have -2x minus 4, so that's just basically multiplying out our bracket on the right hand side. And then finally we're going to have y on its own on the left hand side, and we're going to have -2x, and we're going to basically add across by 7, which is going to give us +3 on the right hand side. So this is basically the slope of our line here. So this is going to be the slope of the line in the first form, which is the form y is equal to mx plus c. And then the second form here, if we were to do it, would simply be to get rid of our y on the left hand side, and also to get rid of our negative in front of x. So basically that would look like 2x plus y plus 3 is equal to 0. Or actually -3, I should say. So that would be -3 instead of +3. But that would be basically our line in the form ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. So it's going to be always one of these two forms that you're asked for, and so that's going to be it for this question.